Coach Melissa here, and I have a 40-minute full body weight strength class for you called Earned, Not Given. Now, for anyone that's been working out with me or just been working out in general, you know that strength has to be earned. Everything is hard when we first get started, and you have to stick with the hard and keep pushing to the next hard. So today we're gonna have a good time flowing through our bodies, seeing how much we can challenge ourselves, how close to fatigue we can get, and then how much we can let it go and move on, just like life. But let's get ourselves warmed up first. For today's class, I am using a chair or something you can hold on to. I will be using a foam roller or a yoga block. Might want to have a towel around, and that's about it. But we'll get there when we get there. Feet are going to be underneath hips here. Roll the shoulders back for me. Pull the ribs in. Tuck the tailbone slightly. Just feel that base of support reaching through the heels. From here, we're going to drop those arms soft bend. Big reach up overhead. Right away, hands together, shoulders relaxed, ribs in. Squeeze the glutes. Go ahead and give me a side to side, a little tick-tock action. So we're bringing our ribs towards our hip bone. We're trying to not rotate at all. We'll be doing that soon enough. But really just lifting out of the side body, rolling those shoulders back and down, keeping the neck nice and long, and then holding when we get to either side, giving ourselves a nice big long breath. Push through the opposite heel, come back to start. Nice work, other side. Big stretch, push through the opposite heel, try to stretch a little further, reach, 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 come back to center, and exhale those arms down. Relax the shoulders, toe heel the feet out, so we're into a nice big sumo stance. I like my toes slightly out here, sitting the hips back like you're almost doing a sumo hinge. Then give me a little squeeze in the glutes, just pull the ribs back towards the hips, hands to either side of the thighs. Relax the shoulders down, elongate the spine, then move the shoulder in. Find the center, elongate again, move the shoulder in. Now, if I elongate, we're not actually getting taller, but I want you to kind of remove that compression. So lift up and out. A little pressure through the palms and the shoulders lifting, just getting that little stretch. You know that moment where our body's getting pulled and you think, oh, this feels so good, everything's decompressed. And then you go a little too far and you go, might be going towards some medieval torture here. We want to be right before that point. So reaching, stretching. 2 more here, sitting back a little further. And then finding that center. Toe heel the feet back towards. Reach down towards the ground. Give yourself a nice long forward fold. Then bend the knees and roll yourself up nice and slow. Letting each vertebrae climb and shaking it all out. All right, let's get down to the ground. Make sure you have a good amount of space here. This is a bodyweight strength sculpt type class. We'll be using elements of physical therapy, Pilates, gymnastics. It will not be easy, bar, but this first section will be down on the ground. The exercises mainly flow through. I'll be working with you. Take glances at me, take glances away, but this will not be rep counted. So let's just keep moving with our bodies. Feet hips distance, shoulders down. We're just gonna move the hips side to side, trying to relax that lower back. So nice and slow. Legs can be together or hips distance, it's up to you. And we don't need to worry too much about isolating here. We really just wanna get some movement through that lower back. Again, we'll be working through most breaks today. You take breaks when you need them, but this class should be done on a your flow basis. All right, finding our center, crossing one leg over the other. Same thing here, but pressing those thighs together. Now we drop a little further and give it a nice pause. Ooh, right away I got an adjustment there. Move it to the other side. The weight of the leg pulls you over. We'll switch the legs halfway through. So nothing crazy here. Again, just mobilizing through the hips and starting to bring awareness to the breath. And mostly just getting in our bodies, letting ourselves know there's work to be done today. And whenever we do something hard, let's switch. We should do it with intention, or we want to make sure the hard works for us. I've always been pretty into workouts that work out well. I do a lot of movement for fun, but when I'm training, I want to make sure my training is getting me what I need in no time flat, right? Then I can save that extra energy and movement for the fun things, for the outdoor things, for the challenges. Side to side, and nice work, find your center. All right, now we're gonna move the spine in a different way. Mobility, hip bridge, heels into the glutes. We're gonna start to roll up from the tailbone here. So roll up, squeezing the glutes. Keep rolling one vertebrae at a time till you get to the top. At the top, the lower back should feel nice and loose actually. By tucking the tailbone more, you'll feel that. Squeezing the glutes together rather than just pushing through the feet and letting the knees press forward. We're gonna roll ourselves down the same way, letting the lower back hit before the glutes. Do it again, roll up. Big squeeze, smash those hips together, not just up, right? We're smashing the glutes, then roll down one vertebrae at a time. I don't want those glutes to touch first, no matter how juicy they are, roll up. So really getting that movement in the spine here. We're activating the glutes, we're stretching the quads here, and we're getting that hip extension to work for us, but we're also mobilizing the spine. We're getting movement where we want it. Kind of like a dance, right? And if your spine isn't quite able to mobilize this way yet, I promise you it will. You just have to keep at it. You gotta focus in. Go ahead and rest. We're going right into a glute bridge hold. This one's more fitness style, so keep the ribs down, squeeze the glutes, hands on either side, relax the shoulders. Lift yourself up and give it as big a squeeze as you can. Instead of dropping ever, we're gonna squeeze a little bit deeper. Lower back feels good because we've got pressure in the heels, the big toe, the baby toe, the knees are pressing forward. The ribs are pulling down like there's a seatbelt around the ribs. Shoulders are pressing down. We're lifted, we're buoyant, but we're using all of this glute energy to try to get that hip extension more and drop it down. Give yourself a little rest, wring it out. We're coming right back and we're going into half reps. So find that glute bridge. All you do here is drop a centimeter, squeeze a centimeter. Now again, this is not the low back. We are, if anything, curling the hips more, right? We curl them up. We've got that little bit of a pelvic tilt here. We're not having the lower back do anything. This is moving so little, less than an inch, right? Just a drop and a lift. Keeping that tension in this top position, this hip extension position, not in the stretch position, in the contracted. Go ahead and drop it all the way down. There's a lot of tension there, so we're gonna release it. Bring the knees to the chest for me, and just hug those knees in. Give yourself a little circle of the spine. Now, if you're still working on your spinal mobility, this might not feel as juicy as you want it to, so find a position that feels good to you. Learning to work your spine, each vertebrae independently, takes a lot of time and a lot of focus. It's something you have to dig so deep for. It's kind of like teaching yourself to move your ears. I know that sounds crazy, but it's something we could all technically do if you put some time into it. I'm gonna take my knees nice and wide here and start to roll them in towards the center, just moving a little bit more. Getting some more looseness in the hips, take it back the other way. Nice work. All right. I'm gonna rock and roll myself up using a foam roller as a tool here. You don't have to, it's gonna be under my lower back. I've got my little towel over it just for some cushion. I'm gonna roll myself over, letting my hips lift up here. One leg is gonna reach out, the other knee is in. We are tucking our tailbone against this movement, right? So we're pulling in and reaching. Now this position is going to allow my lower back to keep itself nice and loose and not fight me, right? All the way in. So as the knee comes in, my other leg extends, but I still have to keep my hips nice and still. To make it a little harder, the hands come to the hips. Drawing in, pulling, so we get this extension, right? The hip is extending, the leg is extending, and the knee pulls in. So I want you to feel this tension across the body, the push and the pull, the stretch and the contraction. There's a lot happening, but what we're not doing is rotating, right? You can use a yoga block for this as well, a soft foam roller for this. A foam roller that isn't this pokey is ideal. Nice work. All right, we're going right into toe tap. So keeping this position, keeping the ribs down, both knees are going to press, and then we're going to tap those toes down. Feel that extension, then draw it back up. Nice work. Breathing, relax the shoulders, draw it in. Going a little bit further. So keeping the bend of the knees, but letting the toes reach a little further. Yeah. Really breathing. Trying to inhale as we drop, so really letting everything extend, and then exhale as we draw it in. Diaphragmatic breath here, relax the shoulders. Again, do your systems checks as you move. Make sure the shoulders aren't creeping, we're not clenching our jaw. We're really letting ourselves find these points where it feels a little scary, like what is right behind this? All the way up, and safely roll yourself off. We're activated, we're mobilized, and it's time to get to the good stuff. Coming into our side lying clamshell. I love this set, but there's a lot of moving parts here, so let's get into it. Our knees are gonna be stacked like we're getting ready to be the Little Mermaid. Feet are stacked as well. We're gonna stay in our side lying position, facing forward, really, really keeping everything square. The top knee is gonna lift up as if there's pressure on your knee, pressing it back down. So we lift up and down. Now, biggest thing that happens here is we start to roll back in our hip without realizing. We think we have more mobility, so we push ourselves back. I want these hips stacked, right? That means this knee can't go that high. But even me, I've been doing this for a long time. This is my max before I start to roll back, so hold it there. Nice work. Going right into our side lying diagonal bridge. You continue here if you need to, but this bottom knee is gonna lift us up, so we're bridging from here. We're gonna sit our booty down like we do in our clamshell, and then we're going to pull in, right? So it's like our side lying. We come on up, and we drop down. We come on up, and then we drop down. Good. So we're getting a lot of glute action here, pushing up, coming into that lying position, and then getting that top leg involved, right? We love this. We feel all the feelings. Now this one, we've really got to keep that stack in the hips and ask the body to focus in, sit back, keep the ribs in, open. Nice work. We don't have very long here, but it gets hard fast. Nice work. Doing what you can. If you can't lift that top leg, don't worry about it. Come right back here, right? What we're worried about is keeping the ribs stacked, keeping the hips stacked, and then coming down and resting. Nice work. Right into our pretzel leg extension. So our top leg is going to come into a 90 degree. Back down into that side lying position, still open in the chest, not rotating. Back knee is going to be back behind us, also 90 degrees. This is our pretzel setup, right? We'll be moving around with our upper body, lower body stays the same. Simply going to bring that back leg up with us. Then we're going to extend that leg long, bring it back to a bend, and drop that leg down. So lift up, extend, pull in. This is not easy, I know. There's a bit of a deficit here, right? So if we're keeping our leg here and we drop down, that knee goes into a deficit because the hip is not going with it. So we keep those hips absolutely anchored down. We've got a nice, big, gentle nail that's going through those hips. Bring it down nice, bring it out, and down. Good. Now sitting all the way up, quick oblique stretch, taking it over. Bring it back down and reach it out. Nice. Bring it on back, arm down, reach it over. Getting a little stretch and a little mobility, a little flow. We love a flow because any bit of choreography for your body is good for your brain. Coming right back to where we started here, we're gonna finish off our pretzel oblique set. So bringing up that leg for me. We're gonna drive our knee all the way in towards the chest, keep this hover. Push it all the way back behind us, keep the hips stacked. So drive it in and push it out, good. We start here. Now I really want you to feel the glute on the way back. I want you to drive the knee and then feel the glute. If you feel ready for arms, we drive and tap. And as we reach out, we reach that arm out as well. That doesn't change our position. It just challenges the upper body, staying lifted. Nice. We're not here very long. We're here today to earn strength. We're not here to push ourselves past failure. I want you to feel successful. I want you to look at a challenge and say, is this too much? And then watch yourself finish it. There's lots of layers here. We're feeling it in our glutes, we're feeling it in our stabilizers, our obliques. Everything is working together. We got some sneaky core work here as well. Last one. And nice work. Come all the way up for me. Easy cross-legged stretch. Just bring the leg in front. This side of the glute should feel crazy. And then we're going to give ourselves a little arm across. Now don't force anything here. First things first, let those hips settle. Bring the arm across and give yourself a tall spine, light twist. Every time you feel those muscles contract, I want you to contract them tighter and then see if you can release them. It's a little trick we use in a lot of this type of training. Your muscles will try to hold on because they still think they're saving your life, but you gotta let them all go. We have another side to do, so give yourself one last little twist and then shake it all out. If you need to pause here just for a second, you go for it, but if you can come with me, come with me. Okay, I'm gonna flip over so I can see you, but you do what feels right to you. Again, we've got our mermaid setup here. Elbow right in line with the shoulders, not leaning back, not leaning forward. Think about that really gentle nail, just driving through your hips as those nails tend to be. From here, keep the hips here and then open up. So if you need to keep your hand there for help, go for it. If you need your hand here for support, that's fine too. A lot of people I've worked with, I've placed something behind their back like a yoga block or even a foam roller, and if you tap it, it's okay, but if you tip it, then we've gone too far with that rotation, right? A little bit of movement's good, but we're trying to isolate here. Good. All right, coming into that sideline diagonal bridge, right? We bring the hips all the way back here, and then we open up, really feeling the side of the glute as we drive down, we come back down. So big open, and we get that little clamshell action here, trying to come all the way down, really feeling the body resettle. Keep the hips here, and then open at the top. Nice, so think about a bridge action with that single leg. I know we're just doing it on the weird diagonal, but it is effective. This is asking a lot of our hip, and our hip can do a lot. It just would prefer not to, right? And training this way, not only is it unconventional, but it's a lot of the stuff you're gonna see in physical therapy, and that's because it's training these little muscles and these little coordinated movement and stabilizers the way your body really needs to. Boom. Nice work, come all the way down. That pretzel leg lift with extension. We're gonna bring that leg back behind us, and we got it easy up here, right? Pull it all in, and let's go. So we got that leg lift and extension, pull it back and drop. So we have that deficit, right? Extending, feeling that whole extension, and drop. Good. Reach. Feel the glutes turn on, and right away, check in with the core, pulling everything in, feeling that brace. My leg did not want to do that deficit. It said absolutely not, so I got to check back in with my body, and let's go for that oblique stretch again. So we simply come up, stretch, come back, get that leg involved, and reach out. If you need this to just be the oblique stretch, that's fine. If you don't have any interest in coordinating this movement right now, that is fine. But if you want to add that little bit of a challenge, you're with me, you're already doing it. Out. Nice work. All right, finishing off this pretzel series, let's bring that knee forward. And we got some work to do. Open up, lift that leg for me, draw it in towards the center, right? Tap there, push it back, keep driving, and there, good. So we've still got, if you need that clue, if you need to hold that hip, then hold it, right? A good grip here, you're gonna feel all the musculature, and you're gonna feel when the hip tries to open. Keeping this thigh pointing forward, the top of the foot pointing forward, right? That's gonna be helpful. We don't wanna rotate. That's not what we're looking for here. We're looking actually for more extension. So as we move the toe back, this is hip extension, squeezing the glute forward. The more of that we have, the more mobility we have and control we'll have in the glutes. And we love that. We're not here for much longer, but if you want that squeeze and reach, you've got it. Feeling that big sling, right? That X across the midsection. Whew, we are earning it today. Last one, and let it go. Come into your cross-legged stretch. Sweat those legs. Settle in. Everything feels crazy right now. Open up. It's not every day your shoulders feel good in that, right? Because everything else is feeling so spicy. A little bit of a cross leg here. Letting the hips come down. Again, if you're feeling that contraction or even the shaking, you want to dig into it more. So squeeze all those muscles that are working, then dramatically exhale them down. That's also a good thing to use when you're trying to relax at the end of the day. Really squeezing your whole body tight and then letting it go. All right, let's get into some more core work. This is a grounded section. We're gonna do our bear hover. We know it well. We love it, honestly, with some diaphragmatic breath. So that's breathing to the back body. So I'm going to have us in this bear hover position, knees up. If your knees need to stay down, keep them down, no big deal. But we want to try to breathe to our ribs rather than dropping our belly down. So the hands are going to be underneath the shoulders. Knees are under the hips. We're curling our toes under. We have a nice base of support here. We're pushing up to the back. So I want you to hover here, and as you breathe, I want you to breathe up. So feel like the front of the ribs are going towards the back ribs. And when you exhale, keep that tension in the top of the ribs. Don't let it go. Inhale. So we're holding the brace the entire time. Exhale. Nice work. All right, if you can hold it, hold it. We're gonna go right into bear hover twist. So come up on those toes for me. The knees are gonna hover one way, and then the knees hover the other. Nothing crazy here. We're trying to keep that connection to the shoulders. Dropping when you need to, right? All good here. From this, we go right into bear to plank hovers. We're gonna have a good time. If you wanna continue, continue. If you need a break, take a break. Just take those steps a little further back. All we're gonna do here is jet forward into that plank, find it, squeeze the glutes, pull the ribs up, and then sit back into that bear hover. A little extension in the upper body. Come back, feel it, squeeze the glutes under, find the shake. We love a shake, push back, hover those knees. So it's kind of like a mini bear beast press. We're keeping a lot of control and tension. We're trying to really control the breath and the glutes, hips, that whole core, and rest. Gorgeous. All right, couple spinal rolls, and then we're gonna keep it going here. Simply, instead of cat-cow up and down, we're gonna move it side to side. So let it all dance for me. Making the hips into a big circle and letting the upper body just follow suit so shoulders can kind of dance. Taking it back the other way, just releasing any tension. If you need to take a moment for your wrists, please do, because we're gonna continue with some wrist work. Evening out, finding your breath, and getting ready for the next tough set. Right, that bear set was tough and it will come back, so let's just know that. Single side bird dog crunch. So we're gonna go for our bird dog. That's that alt arm leg reach. Let's find our core first, reach that arm out. We're simply gonna bring our knee into our elbow, tuck, 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 then reach and extend. So come through the center and then extend. As you come through the center, you can pull up into that bear breath, right? Finding that hollow shape. And then extending. We're not hyperextending here, so just go back to neutral for me. Thinking more about the compression than the extension. Nice work, staying on that same side. Gorgeous. Coming back down, both hands come down, but we're gonna do a little T-spine twist here. One leg out, hand behind the shoulder, open up, and then bring it down and reach that arm through. Open up, nice. A little bit of a mobility break. I love to pair active mobility after a tough set. Keeps the work going, but also gives you a little bit more space for what's to come. You can calm down the mind a little bit. Woo, other side. Nothing messes with my head more than an isometric, than something where I'm not moving at all. Truly, truly, truly. All right, big. It's something I have to think about a lot because it's kind of meditative, right? And that's something I struggle with as well. My brain loves lists. It loves what's next. It loves energy, movement. So the stillness that can come from some isometrics, real tough for me. So for it to be more effective for my brain and for me to come back and want to do it more, because there has to be something to bring me back, go ahead and rest. Leg comes out. I add something active after that'll make it even more potent, but it'll give my brain that little bit of action that it needs. It's not to say isometrics don't take a ton of to-do lists, right? We're always doing system checks, but my body loves to move and that stillness is tough. I'm sure a lot of you can relate, my neurodivergent friends. All right, all the way up here. Last one, and rest. All right, bring out those wrists for me. We're going back to the top. This is gonna feel a little harder because we're more fatigued, but we have a better control. We know what we're going into. So we're starting with the bear to plank hovers. That's simple back and forth. We'll go through the bear to hover twist and we'll try to work right into that final hold with the bear breath. We talk about this a lot, but it's just breathing into the ribs rather than letting the ribs dump and the belly to come forward. That was so dramatic, but you know what I mean, okay? Bear to plank hovers, keep the knees bent, walk them back just a bit, and let's go for it. So coming into that plank, squeezing the tailbone under, pulling up through the ribs, then coming back slowly. Breathing it forward, squeeze the tailbone, pull it under, push up through the upper back, and take it back. So really finding a gymnastic style plank here at the top. The chin is over the fingertips. We're pulling up through the tailbone. We're reaching. We're pushing back. Nice work. And if we can go right into it, those bear twists. So letting the knees come together a little closer and just twisting knees. And then the other way. So really kind of on the balls or toes of the feet. Keeping the upper back still. And moving through that T-spine. I'm shaking, my friends. I might need this little break before we finish. I'm gonna see. Can we do it? Are you with me? Okay, we can do it. All right, holding right into this bear hold. Knees are hovering, pushing through the palms, ribs are up. Get that little pelvic tilt here, so really pull up. Squeeze the glutes to keep things active. Drop the knees a little lower, push the shoulders higher. I am shaking, 10 seconds, big breath. Hold of the ribs here, hollow out a little more, squeeze the glutes 1 more inch, squeeze those quads, keep it active. 3, 2, and 1. Whoo! Who are you when you're being pushed towards fatigue? Man, oh man, question I have to ask myself all the time.